flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, kids. I appreciate that little intro. Welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts collection update video, joined by Miss Heidi today. It is incredibly warm here in the great state of Wisconsin. It was about 90 degrees with 100% humidity today. It felt like it was 120. And we have the RNC in town in Milwaukee, and it was hot. It was really, really hot. Kind of the dog days of summer here in Wisconsin. So some crazy things happening lately. Trying to get a little bit of normalcy back in my life. These last few days have been pretty brutal, and you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get into it very much here on the channel, but it's very depressing, and I had a hard time sleeping the last couple nights. I haven't been eating very well. Figured a video would probably make me feel a little bit better. So I got my little things strewn about the bed like I always do, and I have not really a lot of things, but some things I'd like to share with you guys. And I have a DVD, a twin bill from Something Weird Video. I'll talk to you guys about that one. I got a couple of Blu-rays from Vinegar Syndrome and a couple from the Vinegar Syndrome sister companies. We'll talk about those. I have some, I like to call these fan-made editions. Some of these have never been released on Blu-ray before. I have some pretty cool things here I'm going to share with you guys. I don't like to call them bootlegs. I call them fan-made. We'll talk about those. I have a couple figures here. One of them's pretty rare that I really wanted to get for a while. I finally found it for a really good price. I have a signed vinyl. And I have a couple of VHS tapes, and I have some novels from back from the radio days, the old-time radio shadow. So we'll talk about those. And I have a couple magazines that I added to my Horror Hound collection, and I have a signed item from Camp Crystal Lake, and we'll show that last. So get yourselves relaxed, get a beverage and a snack, and let's check out these movies. So the first one here is the double bill, the double feature from Something Weird Video called Carnival of Blood and Curse of the Headless Horseman. Now this movie here it's a slasher movie that takes place in a carnival, and there's a serial killer running amok in a carnival, and he's killing these beautiful women, or he's killing women, not necessarily all beautiful women, but he tends to pick out female victims. And this movie came out in 1970, but it wasn't released until 1972. And when it came out, it was kind of a twin billing with these two movies. So I think this was really cool to have this edition. It's still very affordable. I think I got this for about 10 or 15 bucks. That included shipping. So these are on Blu-ray. I'll talk about those in a second. I still have this in my player. The quality of this it's very grainy, but it's perfect because it kind of takes you back to that old drive-in feel where you see kind of the cigarette burns and the kind of the little speckles and the crackles on the screen. It's not unwatchable. It just has that old-timey feel to it. I haven't watched Curse of the Headless Horseman yet, but I enjoy Carnival of Blood. It's not a great movie. A lot of people will probably say it's pretty bad, and it is pretty bad, but I like it. It comes with a chapter card here on the inside. I thought this was just, for me, it was collectible because this is how it was originally intended to be viewed with these two movies. And you can see that there are some bonus features. There's the Something Weird video logo. The combined running time is 170 minutes, which is pretty good for 2 movies. And I'm trying to see when this was released on DVD, probably 15, 20 years ago. But it doesn't say for sure, so I'm not going to spend too much time looking for that. But this was also upgraded to Blu-ray not too long ago in a triple pack called Bloodorama Triple Frightmare. This was also put out by Something Weird Video in conjunction with AGFA, which is American Genre Film Archive. And you get 3 movies this time. You get Help Me I'm Possessed, Night of the Strangler, and Carnival of Blood, the one that we just talked about. They did clean it up pretty good, but I kind of prefer the old-timey crackle and cigarette burns, and it just has that 70s vibe. It actually has like a 60s vibe. To me, it feels like it's very 60s. But this is a really nice addition to get if you want to get them cleaned up. If you want to get it the way it was originally intended to be viewed as this double bill, then you probably want to get this one. But if you're kind of a quality snob, you may want to get this one instead. And I had this one already. I just wanted to pull it out for kind of a demonstration to show you guys. And all 3 of them fit on one Blu-ray. They look good. The quality doesn't suffer because the quality was never really intended to be high on these low-budget horror films. So that was the first pickup. This next little stack here, I think the first 2 are Vinegar Syndrome double bills. Double features, and then the other 2 are from Vinegar Syndrome sister companies, and we'll talk about those. But this first one is called the Werewolf versus Vampire Woman. Oh, I take that back. This is just a single release here. This is not a double feature. And there you can see the alternate cover. This is on 4K. Take a look at that slip cover. That's beautiful. Really nice artwork. I love that. And it comes in this black case with the 4K logo on top, Ultra HD. It's all region because 4KR, all region. This movie came out in 1971. There's 3 different cuts of the movie. There's an 87-minute, a 94-minute, and a 95-minute cut. Only one of them are on 4K. The other 2, I believe, are Blu-ray. Let me see here. So it is a 3-disc set. This is the 4K disc right here. This one is still very affordable too. I was kind of surprised. This is the Blu-ray of the second cut. They're calling that Blu-ray disc 1, and then this is Blu-ray disc 2, if you can see that there. Disc 2 and disc 1. Really beautiful edition. And gotta love some old-timey Paul Naschy werewolf movies. And I'm trying to... Infamous werewolf Waldemar Daninsky has been brought back from the dead after a mortician carelessly removes a silver bullet from his heart. Unable to stop himself from viciously killing anyone in his path, he begins a search for the sacred cross, which can finally cure him of his monstrous affliction. So I was glad to finally add this one. This one has been out for a while now, at least several months. I don't believe it's sold out. I actually picked this up on eBay pretty cheap, and it was still new and sealed. So this one hasn't skyrocketed yet. If you like these kind of movies, you might want to jump on it before it goes out of print and doubles or triples in price. So this next one here was I have to admit, was an impulse buy. It looked so freaking weird. I just had to grab it. And this is a twin bill. It's called Criminally Insane. 250 pounds of maniacal fury. And look at this beauty. A whole lot of woman. It's a whole lot of Rosie. And then the other movie is called Satan's Black Wedding, a blood marriage of ghouls. Honestly, I've never heard of either of these movies. This was still very affordable. This was an impulse buy because I went to a seller who I often buy movies from, and I'm always looking for movies. Not always from the same guy, but I do have a rotation, and I do have guys that are my favorite, and the guys that sell really, give me good deals and have good quality stuff. And this guy in particular, he always has a really good stock of movies on his page. And he was offering this one, I think, for $25. It was less than 30. I know that. And I looked at it and I'm like, what in the hell is Criminally Insane? It looks awful. I had to get it. It looks terrible. But I couldn't resist it and I picked it up. 250-pound woman with a butcher knife. I mean, if that isn't scary, I don't know. And both of these movies came out in 1974, and they're both 62 minutes. And these are both all region, apparently. It says so right there. These are not 4K, though. These are just regular Blu-ray. I believe both movies, since they're so short, I think they're on one Blu-ray. And I haven't watched it yet, but you can believe I will be soon, just because it's probably awful. Let me see if I can get that to focus a little bit better so you can see this beauty. Look at that. 250 pounds of woman with they have her with a meat cleaver. Ah, the good old 70s. Haven't seen either of these movies. I know some of you have, and if you want to comment below about them, just make sure you keep it spoiler free for the rest of us who haven't watched it yet. And I'm sure there's a lot of us watching now that will never watch this, but I will. I have to. How could you not? So that is Satan's Black Wedding and Criminally Insane, 1974. This next one was excellent. I really loved this documentary. If you're anything like me, if you were a child of the 70s and or 80s like myself, chances are that you spent a lot of time in mom and pop VHS rental stores. You spent hours walking up and down the aisles looking at the different cover art, reading the back of each box to see if the movie, was interesting to you and you had to rent it. This is a documentary from a company called Saturns Core, and they're a sister company of Vinegar Syndrome. I'll show you the logo here in a minute. I was very, very pleased with this documentary. It was excellent. One of my friends is in this movie, Paul Petrosky, who goes by Weird Paul. I'll leave his link down below. He's a great guy. He's a film historian, a film buff, and he has several segments in this documentary. And in my opinion, maybe I'm a little biased, but I think his segments were the best. He's really great. He's a great guy. He has a great channel too. He records his YouTube videos on VHS tapes. That's how authentic and how into all of that he is. He's into that analog, and I love his videos. He has a great channel. I'm going to link his channel down below. You check him out. Weird Paul Petrosky. And I'll take the cover off and tell you guys a little bit more about this. James Rolfe is in here too, the angry video game nerd. His segments were excellent. This whole documentary was excellent. There's James Rolfe right there, the angry video game nerd. What an amazing collection that guy has. Let me see if I can find Weird Paul. I thought I saw him in the art somewhere, maybe not, but he is definitely in here. There were a lot of other big names in here too, like Lloyd Kaufman from Troma, Let me see who else was in here. Tim Ritter was in here. And you can see here, I'm not going to read every name to you, but if you want to pause it and read a little bit about it. This was 80 minutes long. And I remember when I popped it in, I planned on watching the whole thing, but I was only going to watch 20 minutes now, and I was going to finish the rest later. I ended up burning through the 80 minutes, and I watched some of the bonus materials after. That's how good this was. It held my attention. I wanted more. Here's what the Saturn's Core logo looks like right here. If you can see if I can zoom in on there. Saturn's Core audio and video. It says that this feature was shot and edited on video, just like Weird Paul does his videos on YouTube. There's also a reversible cover, which I have flipped here. You can see some of the really cool art there. They have some of the guys like Weird Paul has all of his old video rental cards, the membership cards. Just to see these and hear these guys talk about all the same things that we loved, it really brought me back, and I really miss it even more now. But it's good to have this on. I would watch this again. Usually these documentaries you kind of watch once and it's kind of like, meh. But there are bonus features on here that I haven't watched yet where there are extended interviews, and one of them was the Angry Video Game Nerd had an extended interview that I haven't watched yet. I'm saving that for like a special time, because this guy, I'm sure you guys recognize James Rolfe. That guy, he's amazing. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know, but he has a great channel. He has a huge following, and deservedly so. The guy's great. I really recommend this. It's pretty fascinating, pretty phenomenal, and pretty awesome. I love it. And then we have another one from Something Weird Video, and I remember these from back on VHS. I believe there were 6 editions of these. It's called Hey Folks. It's the Intermission Time Video Party. And what they did was they compiled all of this huge collection of all these different intermission videos and animations and all these different, let's go to the lobby, and these different jingles and all these different kind of cartoons, characters. And this is pretty amazing too. And this is kind of a nice little companion piece. These go very well together. You have the VHS rental days, and then you have the intermission days from going to drive-ins or movies back in the 60s and 70s. And this one was pretty good too. I got kind of a headache watching this because I like it a lot. They have all 6 versions of this on one Blu-ray. So what I was saying earlier, they had 6 different VHS tapes that were put out by Something Weird Video. And then they updated those to 6 different DVDs, which you can still buy. Well, now they compiled everything that was out already onto one Blu-ray. And it was very flashy. Everything is kind of bang, bang. Like there's no bumper between the intermissions. And I was getting kind of a headache because there was a lot of flashing and I was watching it at night. Not to say that I didn't like it. I think this is awesome. It's amazing. There's some really rare stuff that a lot of this stuff I never saw before, but there were a lot of things that I do remember. Let's all go to the lobby, and they're talking about eating hot dogs and popcorn and all that different stuff, and getting ice cream and different animations. And it was really, really good. Some of them were creepy, like this one at the top. I thought that was fake, but apparently that was something from the late 60s. It looked like it was something that was made recently and just kind of fake, but I guess it was real. But look at this. It's a whopping 718 minutes. It's like, I don't know, over 10 hours. That'd be 600 minutes. So math was never my strong point, but that's a lot of time, and it's all region, and it's another collaboration between AGFA and Something Weird Video. Here's the slipcover, which is really nice. You can get this for like about 25 to 30 bucks. If you want it with the slipcover, it's going to be a little bit more. I think the slipcover sold out. I think the cheapest I saw with the slipcover now is about 75 to 80 bucks. I've seen it all the way to like 120, which is, to me, is ridiculous. Don't buy it for 120 bucks. Because to me, chances are this is going to get re-released, and save yourself a lot of frustration. Don't never pay $120 for a Blu-ray. That's ridiculous. But if you like this kind of stuff, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do that are watching this channel, we're all kind of kindred spirits in that way. We all like this kind of old, this old feel, this the old memories that we have that we'll never let go of. These intermissions and all this stuff, movies and VHS rentals and collecting and all that stuff. And to go back to this again, there have been a lot of people in my real life that, when I tell them I collect movies and movie props and, figures and records and stuff, a lot of people they don't understand it. And they wonder, like, why do you spend your money on this kind of stuff? But when you watch this, and all these guys are kindred spirits, they're all the same as you and me. And it makes you feel a lot better. It really, it's like group hug, man. This is really awesome. I really love that mom and pop one. I like this one better than this one, but I do enjoy this one quite a bit. And you can probably, I think this one's still available even with the slipcover for like 30, 40 bucks, which it's, to me, that's definitely worth it. 40 bucks is very worth it for this. 120 for this, don't do it. Now you can get it without the slipcover like this for I think like 30, 40 bucks. To me, that's definitely worth it. 120 for this, no, don't do it. But you can have hours of fun with this. I only watched about like 15, 20 minutes and I started to get like a splitting headache. There's a lot of flashing, but I think I have to watch it during the day and just kind of have it on in the background. And there's the way that they have it when you turn it on, they call it mixtape, and I think it just kind of plays randomly. Right here, it says it right there. Hey folks, it's the Intermission mixtape, and that's how I put it on. So it was just randomly playing these different clips back to back to back to back to back. And like I said, I was getting I was getting a headache from the flashing, but I'll put it on during the day, maybe when I'm doing some cleaning in the house, and just kind of keep it on and hear it in the background and watch it. It's legit. It's a great show. So here are the Vinegar Syndrome and Something Weird video little lot that I have here. These were not purchased in a lot. These were purchased singly, but so we have, hey folks, it's the intermission time video party. We have Mom and Pop. I really love that. I'm going to watch it again soon. This is really good. We have the Bloodorama Triple Frightmare, which I've had this for a while now, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys again that you can get this on Blu-ray, or you can get the double bill here on DVD, Carnival of Blood, Curse of the Headless Horseman. We have Big Girl here, Criminally Insane, and Satan's Black Wedding, and we have the Werewolf versus Vampire Woman. So this next stack here, this is all from the same seller, and like I described these earlier, these are fan-made editions. Some people call them boots, but these were never released on Blu-ray, and these are upscaled to Blu-ray quality. And I'm going to just kind of pull from the pile here. Now, some of you guys may not care for this show. This is called the Powerpuff Girls. It's an American cartoon made in the style of Japanese anime, involving these three girls who were created by a professor, and they are superheroes. And this is the complete series. There were 6 seasons, and there was a movie that was made that's also included in this set. And when my girls were little, I have 2 daughters, and when they were little girls, this was a very popular show, and I really enjoyed watching this show with them, so much so that even when they weren't around and this was on TV, I would sit and watch it by myself. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. This is a really cool show. There's some really cool villains in here, and it's a good story. And so, like I said, it's a 6-disc set. I mean, this thing looks like it's professionally made. You get the complete series, 6 seasons, all 78 episodes, plus the specials in the movie, and there's behind the scenes. And I'm going to peel this out of the plastic really quick and show you just how professional this guy makes these. You wouldn't even know that this was a boot. And like I said, I don't call them boots. This was never released. This was released on DVD. Not even everything that he has. Just the 6 seasons, 78 episodes were released on DVD, and it's going for like over $100 on DVD, the box set. And a lot of the box sets that I find are completely smashed and beat up, because this is a kid's show, and chances are a lot of children were handling these boxes. This is more of like a collector set. And these are silk screened. You can smell the paint. The only way that you could really tell that this was not legit is if you look at the back. Hold on here, let me grab this out. And you can see it's kind of a purple tinge. And actually it's barely purple. It almost looks silver, but yeah, this is not a it's not a factory made legit, but the quality is 1080p. And so you get complete series disc 1, disc 2. It also has subtitles. If you want subtitles on, you can remove them or turn them on. And I mean, these are really, really nice, really well done. All 6 discs. It has everything that ever had anything to do with this show. Like I said, it has all 78 episodes, has the specials. I think there was a Christmas special and maybe a Halloween special. I don't recall exactly. Then it had the movie, and then it had extra behind the scenes stuff. So that is the Powerpuff Girls. Maybe a lot of you guys don't care about this, but this was kind of a sentimental purchase for me. Just good memories watching it with my daughters. So I have 2 daughters, like I told you. I also have a son. I do have 3 kids total, and my son was the youngest of the 3. And I would watch this show with my son. This is called Courage, the Cowardly Dog. I have all of these on DVD already, but I had to get this complete Blu-ray set, same seller. I'll link his channel down below if you guys are interested. Go check him out. So this one has everything. It even has the Scooby-Doo episode. Has all 4 seasons, 52 episodes. Plus it has, I think there are 2 specials and the Scooby-Doo movie. So it has everything that was ever related to Courage, and it's on 2 Blu-rays. Again, it's silk screened. This is not a sticker. It's actual paint on the disc. I don't know how he did it, but you can smell the paint. Not that it's a bad smell. It just has that kind of new smell to it. And if you look on the back, it's not your traditional like complete purple. I think this is an upscaled 1080p. I don't know how he did it. I really don't, but these are not official, but they look as good or better than anything I've ever seen on Cartoon Network. These look amazing. There you can see the Scooby-Doo crossover. It's the very last entry onto that disc. The Scooby-Doo movie was the last thing ever made with Courage. And they didn't even include John L. Dilworth, who was the inventor of Courage. They didn't even let him participate in that movie. How crazy is that? He was pretty upset about that. So there they are again. These are the 2 kind of the more modern cartoons that I like. There's not a lot of, I love cartoons, but I don't really like the more modern stuff as much. But these are 2 of the, I guess, modern cartoons that I really love still. So, and just to correct myself really quick, I do make mistakes quite a bit on this channel. It's John R. Dilworth who was the creator, not John L. Dilworth, John R. I don't know how I came up with John L. Anyway, moving right along here, I have this little stack of Marvel superhero shows from the 60s. And this first one is called the Mighty Thor. These never really had a proper DVD release. I think they only had pirated kind of bootleg fan-made editions from the old VHS days, as far as I know. And this guy, the same guy that I showed you that did these 2, also worked on these. So I have, 5 of these? 5 of these superhero shows. I'm going to show you all 5. The first one is the Mighty Thor. This is the complete 1966 series, Marvel Animated Series collection. Now, this was kind of primitive animation, and it was definitely made in a comic book style, and it was purposely made like that because obviously these are comic book characters from the Marvel Universe. But these were still fun, and this was a little bit before my time, but I do remember watching these back in the day. I don't remember what channel they were on. These were on TV once in a while back in the day. But you can see that. I think it has 13 episodes. So this is a pretty good little breeze through. You can watch this. I mean, it has everything looks like it's legit. You know, I mean, it looks like it's an official release. He's never had a Blu-ray release before, so that's why I don't call these bootlegs. I call them fan-made editions. This is just a one-disc set. Again, it's silk screened. It's not a sticker on there. So you actually get paint that's painted on there. You can, and it's pretty strong. You can smell the paint. And then you have that. You can see how short it is. How that ring in the center is kind of burned. This is on the outside ring is where the show is. So there's that stuff that's silver in the middle. That's empty space. They could have put a lot more on there. It's only 13 episodes, and I think these episodes are only probably 10 or 15 minutes a piece, if that. So that's the first one. That is the Mighty Thor. The next one here is the Invincible Iron Man from the same year, 1966, from the Marvel Animated Series collection. Again, this was another very short-lived 13 episodes. There you can see the 13 chapters, or the 13 episodes rather, and I haven't popped these in yet to check out the quality, and I don't know if these have subtitles. This is a really nice little set here. The Invincible Iron Man. The next one up is Submariner, also from 1966. All of these are from 1966. And this guy put together a really nice set. This one has 13 episodes. So this one, I didn't see that in the other two, but this one's 286 minutes for Submariner. Iron Man is also 286 minutes, and Thor 286 minutes. Next one here is Captain America. Look at that. That's beautiful. This is the one I'm looking forward to the most. Love Captain America. And again, 286 minutes, 13 episodes. Marvel's Star-Spangled Hero defends the American way in this complete animated series. It says DVD set, but this was it's upscaled to Blu-ray. And the last one then from this Marvel Superheroes collection is called The Incredible Hulk. And again, if you are interested in any of these fan-made editions that I showed you, I will leave a link and you can go check that out. You can see that this is old school Hulk. That's the good stuff right there. He has a couple different Hulks. He has some more modern ones too. He has the 80s Hulk animated. There's a couple different ones that he has. If you're interested in that, you can get those too. And he has a couple different Spider-Man shows. I didn't get those, not yet anyway, but he has a lot of different stuff on his site. You might want to check that out. So just a little quick recap: the Invincible Iron Man, the Mighty Thor, the Incredible Hulk, Captain America, and Submariner. Go check that link below. I get nothing out of it other than me helping you out there. I don't get any freebies out of that. The next one here is it's a cheapie, but this is something that I've had on my wish list for a few years now, at least a couple years, and I really enjoy horror movies that take place in like icy, cold winter setting. This one's called Hypothermia, Fear What Lurks Beneath, and it has a reversible cover. This is what I flipped it to, but this is what the original cover looks like here. This is from Dark Sky Films. I don't know if this has a Blu-ray release, but this was very cheap on DVD. I think it was only like $5, $5 or $6. And this is something, like I said, that I've wanted for, it's been on my wish list. And like I said, I'm constantly, every day, at least for a little bit of time, I'm going through either eBay, Mercari, Etsy, Amazon. I'm looking at all kinds of stuff. I go over to Vinegar Syndrome and Scream Factory, obviously, those sites too. But if you want to get the best deals, I think you want to buy these secondhand if you can. Other than, like the ones that go out of print directly from the, like Vinegar Syndrome, those are very expensive if they go out of print. But movies like this, probably when it came out, what year did this come out? 2011, and it came out on DVD in 2012. So probably, I'm going to guess when this came out, it was at least $20, maybe $25 on DVD. Now you can get it for $5, $6. So, and it's in perfect condition. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like a mirror. So that's always something you want to check too. Don't just always check the lowest prices. You want to make sure you get the good quality. You want to make sure that you can see the disc, that it doesn't have any cracks or scratches. And if it's a DVD and it's supposed to come with an insert, you want to make sure you do your homework before you just start throwing your money around. And that's what I'm constantly doing. I'm always window shopping, and that's part of the hobby. It's part of the fun for me to look for these movies and then find them and get them. So that's Hypothermia. It's just a little low budget creature feature movie about a monster there that lives under the icy snow. I'm looking forward to checking that. I haven't watched it yet, but I will be soon, probably this weekend. So now we get into the horror figures. I have 3 of them. This first one is Amigo, not Amigo, but it's a Migo. It's my Amigo from Migo. This is the Plague of the Zombies from the Hammer horror movie. I think that looks fantastic. I had to grab that. That looks really great. And this was pretty cheap too. This was probably $8. Maybe I'll do a video this weekend to kind of show you my Migo figures. I've shown them before, but I have added a few since that last video. Maybe I'll just put a quick video this weekend up to show you like my updated Migo collection. That is Plague of the Zombies. Looks pretty great to me. The next one is these little bastard toys here. I swore that I would never buy any of these Toonie Terrors, and now I have like 8 of them because I do like them. I normally don't like these cutesy type shit like this, but I can't help it, man. I had to get Captain Spalding. Comes with 2 different faces. See if I can get in there good for you guys. So he's got the laughing kind of face, and he's got the more pissed off, angry Captain Spalding. What a great character from House of 1000 Corpses, Sid Haig. This was a great character. And this is the 20th anniversary of House of 1000 Corpses, the anniversary figure of it. And like I said, I don't like those bobblehead, the Funko Pop. I don't like those. I do have a couple of those because they were gifted to me by my children. But it's been many years since I picked one up, and I only have a couple. I think I have Leatherface, Jason, and Freddy, and maybe one other one, or maybe 2 other ones. I don't know, but I don't like those. I think they're pretty stupid, and they're kind of like the modern Beanie Baby to me. Although these have lasted way longer than Beanie Babies did. But these Toonie Terrors, these are pretty fun. So I have a few of these too. I think I have Jason, Freddy. Um, maybe when I pull out the Migos this weekend, I'll pull out the Toonie Terrors I have too, and show you guys an update of those. And then this last figure for this video is one that I've wanted for many years, and this one is ridiculous priced. I mean, it's through the roof for this figure. This is the Movie Maniacs Jason X, put out by Mezco Toys. I think this is put out by Mezco, right? Let me see. Oh, McFarlane Toys. And this figure here, it was a short run, which means it was just a very limited run. And to get this one new in package like this, and this blister pack is mint. I mean, this figure is over 20 years old, and whoever had this must have kept it in a tote or in a box somewhere that was sealed up in a closet, because this thing didn't have any dust, it didn't have any cracks or yellowing. Sometimes these blister packs, they get kind of a yellow tinge to them, especially if you're a smoker or if you keep it by like a window where sunlight beats in on it. It almost turns this plastic into like an eggshell. I mean, it gets really fragile. And but anyway, so this is Jason X, and Jason Goes to Space. It's a silly character, but this is a very highly collectible toy, especially in this condition. And I finally pulled the trigger. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it, but it was not cheap. And I'm not bragging and I'm not complaining. I'm just happy to have this finally in this condition. This thing peeling right here, that's part of the graphics. It's not actually peeling or cracked or anything. It's made to look like that. This box is in brand new condition. And this toy came out in 2002. So it's 22 years old, and it's still like this. It's beautiful. One of the dumber movies in the franchise, in my opinion, but I still had fun with it. It had some pretty good creative kills in it, and it was just, I mean, come on, look, that's ridiculous. But I had I had to get this, and I got it, and so this is one of the rare pieces of my collection now. Okay, so we're kind of getting to the nitty gritty here. We just have this little kind of pile here on the right corner of the bed. We still have Heidi here, but Hannah didn't want to join us today. And then after I show you this stuff, I have one more. Actually, I forgot. I have a couple magazines too. And then I have like the grand finale piece. I'll show that last. Maybe you guys will enjoy it. Maybe not. I enjoy it a lot, but that doesn't mean you will. So, but this next piece here is a Friday the 13th vinyl record. This was a limited edition. This was limited to the Crystal Lake Tours. You can only get this through the Crystal Lake Tours. Very rare, very limited. It was signed by the composer of the soundtrack, Harry Manfredini, which he signed it right there in a black Sharpie, and he put the little score there for. This is a really nice piece, and this particular record comes with a certificate of authenticity. It shows Manfredini with the record that he signed, which is the one that I have here, and it has like a little I guess that's a certificate of authenticity, the number for it, the serial number, I guess, I don't know, but it's cool that they threw this in. And it has a color vinyl that was never released before. It was only released for this particular vinyl record. And let me pause it really quick. So I got to handle this carefully here. So there again, these are the little hype stickers. These are called hype stickers. You can see there, it just says Crystal Lake Tours, Friday the 13th, original motion picture score, music by Harry Manfredini. Crystal Lake Tours exclusive splatter colored vinyl. It also comes with a bonus card that was only released in this set. I'll show that here in a minute. Has a hype stickers that says it was signed by the composer on location at the camp where the first movie was filmed. The primary filming location of Friday the 13th Part 1 includes a photo certificate, which we looked at again, or we looked at earlier. We'll look at it again. And put this off to the side and open it up. And there's the vinyl. This is beautiful. On the left, it's kind of it's a translucent, it's a clear vinyl with black splatter. And on the right side, it's red with black splatter. It's a beautiful record. And we'll put that off to the side very carefully and gently. This is the little card that they throw in. It's one of the cabins. I don't know exactly what cabin that is. That might be Alice's cabin. I'm not sure. But that's pretty cool that they threw that little extra in. This is only a bonus if you get this particular record. So I'm going to pause it here, put all this stuff away. I get a little bit nervous when I have this stuff out, so I'll be right back. I also wanted to mention that you do get this same art print too that came with the regular Waxwork edition. When you ordered this from Waxwork, just the regular edition of it, it does come with this same print, and it's also included with this one too. So there it is. This record, I love it. It's beautiful. It's the second record I have that's signed by Manfredini. I also have Part 3 in 3D, which he also signed, and he put the little music bar up there. Good to see that he still participates and in these like Friday the 13th kind of get-togethers. And I've never been to a Crystal Lake tour in New Jersey, but I do plan to at some point. I really want to go. I want to get the full experience of it. And I hear it's really fun. I'm looking forward to going some year. I just don't know when, but gonna be a bucket list for sure. Okay, so these next two movies are VHS tapes, and these were very cheap. Both of these were under $10. I talked about these movies a couple of years ago on this channel here. I don't remember what video it was, but I do have the DVDs of these. I recently picked up something from this movie, and it didn't arrive yet. And I'm not going to say what it is. I'm going to save that for a future video. When it arrives, I will talk a little bit more about it and the movie, and I'll show these again in the DVDs and some other things. But wanted to pick these up since they were so cheap. I put them in plastic. These were both in very good condition. And as a matter of fact, Part 2 still had plastic wrapped around it, and it was only opened on the bottom so they can slide it in and out. I tore that plastic off and put it in a better case. And it looks amazing. It's beautiful. That's Bloody Murder and Bloody Murder 2. This was a former Blockbuster rental. Looks like it came out March 14th of 2001. Doesn't have a price on it that I can see anyway. These are both put up by Artisan. Not really much else to say yet. I'll talk more about these in a future video when something comes in that I ordered. So I'm a fan of old-time radio, and I have a bunch of old-time radio shows on cassette tape and DVD. And one of my favorite shows from the old-time radio days was The Shadow. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows. These are great. I bought all of these together in one lot, and it was very affordable. I'm going to just quickly go through these. I'm not going to open them up or anything. These are all novels, and these are like the dime store novels that you would get, or the drugstore novels. These were only like, I think some of them had price tags of like $1.15 or something like that. This one was 50 cents. Maybe a lot of them, maybe most or all of them were 50 cents. I'm not sure. I don't have these in any particular order. I'm just going to kind of show you the covers of these really quick and go through and put these away. But this one was called Shadow Go Mad. I think these were all from the 60s and the 70s. next one was called The Shadow, Destination Moon. They're all in really good condition. Whoever had these took pretty good care of them. And the seller who sold them to me in a lot, it was a lady, a female, and she put them all in these little bags, and they're perfect. I don't know if they're made for books like this. Maybe they are. I don't know, but I mean, these are really nice, and you can tell that they've protected these just from the wear and tear of sliding them back and forth on each other. It's a really good protector. I'm all about protection. I protect all my movies, especially slipcovers. This one's called Mark of the Shadow. Maybe some of you guys know a little bit more about these than I do. If you want to chime in, you can leave a comment. This one's just called The Shadow. This is number 8, according to the top right corner of the book. I don't think the other ones had numbers on them. So this is number 8. And these were a little bit more, so this must be later. These were 95 cents from a company called Pyramid Book. Let's see, it was Steranko art. Jim Steranko. Here's number 7. So we're kind of going backwards. We went from 8, 7. This is The Red Menace. And here's number 6, The Crime Cult. Here's number 5, Double Z. That's a great cover. And yes, I do plan on reading these. You can see that there's kind of a pattern here. It looks like maybe they had a sticker, because the last couple, it looked like they had a sticker on and somebody pulled it off and took some of the ink right off the book. I don't know if that's residue from the glue or if that's torn into the cover. I'll have to take those out of the packaging to inspect it later. Here's number 4, Hands in the Dark. Again, with the little, if that's just glue residue, I can remove that very carefully, but it'll look like it never existed. But if that tore off print, I'll never be able to fix that. Not that it's, I got these for a pretty good price, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I would rather it wasn't like that, but what are you going to do? So we're back to 50 cents here. This is not part of that last series I just showed you. This is called Shadow Beware. And this one has kind of an old look to it. You can see that the book has kind of mold on it. This one's called The Shadow Strikes. These must have been from the 70s, possibly late 60s. I don't know. I didn't do any research on these. Here's The Night of the Shadow. And this one is called The Shadow. This one has a 60-cent cover here on the top. Bantam Book, number 7. Gangdom's Doom, The Shadow. Here's number 1. Master of Darkness, The Living Shadow. And 2 more. Here's another 60-cent Bantam book. This is number 4. The Death Tower, The Shadow. And the last one for this lot is another 50-cent cover called Shadow's Revenge.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
Okay, so we're getting down to brass tacks here. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. We're almost done with the video. If you stayed with me this long, thank you. I appreciate that. Let me see here. Yeah, I picked up 4 more Horror Hound magazines. The first one here is the Day of the Dead 25-year, like an anniversary edition. And this was put out in 2010. Had a $5 price tag back then. And there you have Vampira. You have Elvira. Is that Joe Bob Briggs? It sure is. And then you have Jason Voorhees. You got Bub from Day of the Dead. Really glad to have that issue. It's in really good condition. I also picked up this awesome Vincent Price cover. This is the 100 Greatest Names in Horror over the last 100 years. That's a beautiful photo, beautiful artwork of the great Vincent Price. This was January, February of 2011. It had a $6.99 price tag. This is number 27. This is one that I needed. I was very glad to pick that up. I think that looks great. I love that green like that. It's really good. That's a very good likeness too. Looks like the artist was named Daniel R. Horn. I don't know who he is. But whoever he is, he did a great job. I'm sure probably a lot of you guys do know who he is. I picked up number 28. This is Ghostface from Scream. This was from March, April of 2011, $6.99 price tag. This is when Scream 4 came out. It's a retrospective of the Scream series. And we have Pamela Voorhees' head in Jason's shrine. This is a Horror Hound tribute to 1981. This was May, June of 2011, number 29, $6.99 price tag. So we have 27, 28, 29, and this is the special from 2010. And I needed all 4 of these. And the last piece for this video is, I guess this is, I'm saving the best for last in my opinion. This is a life ring, or a life preserver, maybe somebody would call it, from Camp Crystal Lake. This is Camp Nobi Bosco in New Jersey, where the first movie was filmed in 1980. And it was signed by Ari Lehman, who played young boy Jason in part 1. You see young boy Jason at the end, and he comes out of the water and pulls Adrienne King, who played Alice. She was in the canoe, and he kind of reaches up and pulls her, and then she wakes up in the hospital. So this was a really nice piece for me to add to my Friday the 13th collection. I was really glad to get this. And apparently, according to the guy who I was talking to on the website, I ordered this from the Camp Nobi Bosco. And he said that these life preservers were actually used let me see here. December 14th, 20. He said that these were used for a short time at the lake. And it has kind of a, if any of you ever owned a boat, or if you were ever in a boat, of any kind of a boat, it has kind of a, almost like a, I don't want to say like a mildew kind of a smell, but it has kind of like a musty kind of a smell to it. The boat does. That's what this life ring kind of smells like. It has kind of that, like a, it's not pungent or offensive. It you know, it doesn't reek, but it definitely has kind of a scent to it that smells like a boat to me. So I was really glad to have this. So Ari Lehman signed it, Jason 1. I love that they put the little decal for Camp Crystal Lake on there. And it's really nice. And then it says established 1935. And then Adrienne King signed it with her beautiful signature there. Really glad to have this in my collection. So that's going to do it for my update video. I do feel a little bit better. I still feel sick to my stomach about that 50-year-old father, Corey, who passed away. I don't think I'm going to get over that anytime soon. Not to be a rain cloud here at the end of the video, but I mean, it's really bothering me. It's eating away inside me. I just can't believe that happened. And just to hear the daughter scream, you can hear it. It's unbelievable. I haven't had an appetite in like 2.5 days now. So I hope you guys are well. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to put a link down below for Weird Paul Petrosky, my buddy, who was in this mom and pop documentary put out by Saturn's Core on Blu-ray. And I'm going to put a link down for the seller who makes these fan-made movies, Blu-rays. All right, guys, take it easy. Take care. Tell me something good in the comments. I need to be kind of pepped up and picked up. I know a lot of you regulars. You always make me smile. So Goran and Eric. I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm not going to keep naming names. But you guys always find a way to make me happy. So if you guys can tell me something positive in the comments, I would really appreciate that. I hope you guys are well. Take care. See you next time.